Hello everyone and welcome. Crash here, this RTA Motorsports. Let's make sure everything's up and running. Had a ton of updates when we first turned on the rig and the computer and everything like that. So, very exciting times. We have Assetto Corsa Competizione. We're going to be jumping into our first session. We're actually going to have to probably set everything up, to be honest with you, because we actually have not been in this title at all yet. So we have a lot of setup that we're going to be doing. Probably also have to set up OBS to record the gameplay correctly, because we literally just finished installing all of our updates to our computer, and then installing the actual driver. Well, not the driver, but the file for SimTools to actually map motion for the motion rig for Assetto Corsa Competizione. So this is actually pretty exciting. Not only are we going to be driving it for our first time, but we're going to have our full 3 degrees of freedom motion rig working with it at the same time. The only downside is we're not going to have VR, and that's going to come next month, as many of you already know. So we do have the chat up. If you want to say something, definitely leave it in the comment box below. I do have chat up and running. And yeah, let's start this up and let's see how it all works. Let's hit play. I could already see here it's not really the mapping I kind of preset it to is not working. So let's just fix this here with OBS so that way you could all see what's going on during the setup process. Let's see, game capture. There we go. Okay. All right, so now you could all see kind of what's going on there. Hey, Stubby, how you doing? Doing well. Actually, just recently had a root canal over this past weekend. My face was kind of swollen up like a balloon, had a fever and all that. Kind of the same tooth that we've been having issues with. Had issues with it again. Finally had to go and get a root canal done. So we are finally feeling back to normal. Yes, we are. We're getting there. Let's put it that way. My face swelling has finally gone down. But all right, let's get this all set up. Got to put your name in. All right. And it's not letting me type for some reason. This is very weird. Yeah, it was not comfortable, to be honest with you. The procedure itself wasn't too bad. There was some issues during it when it hurt just a little bit, but it's too long. So we'll just leave it Crash as a nickname. So straight out of the gate, the wheel controls seem to be working. We're probably not going to watch the video only because normally game videos, game music seems to flag your title, and then you actually can't use it. Let's see here. Welcome to early access program of Assetto Corsa Competizione. This beta version will allows you to play Assetto Corsa Competizione prior to release in full game. Blah 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 blah. Alrighty, let's go to main menu. Alright, so let's go to options, kind of see how everything is set up. We'll turn music all the way down. They got some pretty dramatic music there, but not my kind of thing. Ah! Okay, so it goes all the way back. Alright, controls. So, let's see. So it already detected the device, okay. And it looks like it has a few profiles already set up. Preset wheels, okay. And it's got one for the McLaren GT3. Nice. Speaking of which, let's remove this BMW wheel and throw on our McLaren GT3 wheel. If it wants to come off or not. Ah! Almost got myself in the face on that one. Jeez. All right. There we go. All right, so we got the McLaren GT3 wheel on, and let's see. Force feedback settings. I think I'm going to pretty much leave everything except I'm going to click on this preset. All right, nothing happens when you click on the preset. So I don't know if it's just going to automatically configure to it or what. Let's see what's going on in the video settings. So the graphics card we have is a 1080 Ti. You can see everything is on Epic. It's probably just their auto settings. And let's jump into special events. And actually, you know what? I want to feel the car by myself real fast. We'll just leave everything kind of alone. Just see how it is out of the box. Realism, of course, we're not going to leave this on beginner. Let's go to Pro. And then Assist, we'll put this on Pro. So, engine start manual, I'm probably going to leave that. I'm going to take that off manual. Only because I'm not sure what button is set to which. I'm going to have to definitely go through the button configuration that they set for this wheel and make sure that everything is kind of already set up there. Leave that in automatic for now too. And we'll leave that alone. Alright, now how do you actually proceed? Oh, start session. Big giant red bar right in the middle of the screen. Go figure. So Niall V says he had problems with the V2.5, had to recalibrate in-game. V Monique 3 says preset click auto loads those. Okay. Alrighty. So let's press confirm. That's not confirm, I don't think. I don't know.
Green light. Give it all you can.
All right, so still with the top hat here on the GT3 wheel, you can move the camera around side to side, which is nice. I don't have to reach for any other controls. So let's see. So I'm probably still going to have to map the clutch because the clutch here is not working. I don't know if it automatically mapped it or not. You got a nice and clear display of your tire temperature. Now I notice that our motion is not working, so let's actually... let's make sure that that is mapped here. Ron Smith, how you doing? We're doing our first setup of Assetto Corsa Competizione, and we are going to be setting it up with motion in just a second here. Let's just make sure... there we go. Patch this title. Patch installed. Oh, there we go. The rig just moved. All right. Oh. All right. Yeah, this is going to be too high. Let's turn this down a little bit. Oh, 100%. Nope. 70%. Most of my titles with this Prosimu 3 Degrees of Freedom rig, I run it at 70%. So we have not really changed any of the parameters of the patch for the motion rig. We're just running what they created. So, it's a little bit awkward racing on a TV again. So it's probably going to take me a few laps to kind of get used to it. I'm not sure if there's some sort of motion blur on. I'm probably going to have to go back in the option settings and make sure that that is not on. Because I kind of feel like... I like what I'm feeling through the steering wheel. Definitely. Oh, no! Back in the sand. Alright, let's try the special event. I'm also going to... let's see, what button is the pause button? Alright, that's change view. Not bad. It's lights on and off. Pitch speed active. Is that one there? Okay, so the pit button actually worked there. So I don't know if I actually have a... pause screen control here. I think I have to hit the escape button on the keyboard still. Interesting. Ron Smith, you're going to be replacing the laser drive in your console next month. Hopefully it'll take care of the issue of not being able to do any racing. Oh, that's no fun. Sorry to hear that. Well, it's good that you're going to be fixing it. You're going to be going ahead and doing something about it. So you can see there's only a few modes that we have here. Let's see. So they're all pretty much a tester skill based deal here. This is your first race in 2018. Due to a mistake in yesterday's qualifying session, your starting position would be the last on the grid. Take your time, find your place, and stick to the plan. We're aiming for points. Your target is to finish 10th position or higher. And that's a full-on quick race. So I think we might do that. It's in sunset, so we're probably going to get blinded a few times. It's probably going to show off their sun glaring in this new graphics engine that they're using here. Overall, I like the looks of it. I did want to turn up my motion rig a little bit. Let's turn that up to 80. Let's see how, or maybe 85. Let's see how this could sort of change the fine bumps, because I'm missing like feeling the shifting of the vehicle. In iRacing, every vehicle feels different, but in iRacing specifically, like the Porsche 911 RSR, when you shift, you feel it in the whole rig. In the Huracan in Assetto Corsa, you feel it a little bit. It's not as violent, but in this title so far, I'm not feeling anything at all. And that is not necessarily the title; could just be the patch. It's the first release of the patch for SimTools here, or it could just be my settings. I might just have to adjust some settings. But overall, I like the look of it. All the settings are pretty much on Epic right now. I think there's motion blur on, and it's kind of distracting me a little bit. I don't know how I feel about the whole motion blur setting. To be honest with you, I normally just turn it off. But I'm going to have to go to options to see if it is on. I feel like it is. But the one thing is with this graphics engine that I'm noticing that's different than the way the old Assetto Corsa looked, is you have a lot of nice special effects, but everything looks a little bit cartoony, almost like the colors are very vibrant, like almost too vibrant. It's almost like you took the saturation, color saturation, bumped it up quite a bit. So I would like to see that color saturation come down a little bit. Norman Robinson, how you doing? I would definitely like to see that color saturation come down a little bit. Personal preference, but I mean, it's very beautiful looking. It just, whoa, okay. Whole rig just moved here. Let's see, save preset setup. A stable setup to start exploring your card and circuit capabilities. Aggressive, current, or wet. Let's go safe for now. I don't know if it loaded it or not. I don't think it did. Oh, I'm probably going to have to rename it. I don't know if it's actually allowing me to do so or not. Interesting. Anyway, let's start the race. Personally, this view would probably be better here. For my screen and where I'm kind of sitting right now. I really can't wait for VR and to see how the VR performs, because that's pretty much how we only race for the most part. It's a little disorienting not racing in VR right now. We're on cold tires here. Ah! Oh no! So I like so far the motion settings on 85 feel pretty good. Oh! Let's see if we can catch up. I don't know if we're going to have enough to catch up. Oh, we're losing it again. My gosh. All right, let's just restart it. We'll try to stay with the pack a little bit more. This is actually pretty tough. It is very difficult. Yasin's asking, racing without VR, is it difficult? Yes. Very, very difficult. It almost feels like I'm racing through a... Oh, man. It's kind of really hard to describe without just saying exactly what I'm doing right now. It doesn't feel right. Let's put it that way. It's hard to really judge depth, and it's hard to judge where the track is. Right now, we're kind of just racing as is, but the field of view is completely off. And I could really feel that the field of view is really off. Like, everything feels very narrow and very elongated, almost, if you could get a sense for that. But yeah, with the field of view being off and all that, it doesn't feel right. And it's very hard to judge where everything is on the track.
Alright, remember that the race is not won in the first corner. Watch out, and remember that our target is P10, in position 10.
I like that we have rolling starts, and I like that we have the crew chief now. The sounds are phenomenal. The sounds are getting closer to like race room racing experience. I'm not really liking what they did with and that's kind of distracting me because I was trying to look at it. Not really liking with what they're doing with the rear view mirror. I don't know what the heck that's all about. It's kind of like this weird mosaic sort of pattern on the rear view mirror. That was really beautiful. The sun glare on the on that sign there. So far, we're P17. Seeing a lot of sparks flying up ahead. We got 17 minutes, 49 seconds left. Jumped on the throttle way too hard there. Oh, some sparks. Oh my gosh. You hear all that dirt clearing out from underneath the tires against the wheel wells? At least that sounds really realistic. Everything's actually sounding really good. Bumping up the motion settings to 85 really livened it up a little bit. Got a little stutter there. Feels really good with this McLaren wheel. I like that they already mapped the controls to it. Every button had a function. Front of the vehicle's pushing real hard. Sun is really starting to blind. We'll see what RTX brings. Yeah, definitely. Trust me, I'm really thinking about changing over from the 1080 Ti to the RTX 2080 Ti. Only if it brings anything tangible. It's got me, as well as many of the reviewers, nervous about how secretive they are on just base level performance. And it's got me nervous that they're going to be running these cards at the same time as far as the 10 series and the 20 series. The fact that they're going to be selling them at the same time almost kind of lets me know that there's a reason that they feel to sell them at the same time. And if the prices aren't going to drop on the 1080 and the 1080 Ti, I don't know if there's really going to be that much of a like real world performance increase from the 1080 Ti to the 2080 Ti, and I don't know. Kind of feeling like this might be more of a performance demonstration for ray tracing rather than a hardcore like frame boost as we have normally seen in the past. Oh, that sun glare is awesome, but it is distracting, but it's awesome. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's appropriate. It adds to the game's immersion. I gotta figure out how to turn on the lights.
process steps so far.
I'm not really noticing any like world pop in or anything like that in the distance. I don't know if that's just because of the default settings for this 1080 Ti or their recent update. I heard about it, but I haven't really noticed it. We might restart this one more time now that we got some practice with this vehicle, some time, and we're kind of understanding how to race on a monitor again instead of just VR. I might just restart this so that way we could really see the AI, because right now we're so far back from the AI, I don't think it's really going to show us anything as far as racing with AI. Yeah, Norman Robinson. I'm hopeful that the deeper color saturation translates into better visual experiences in VR mode. Definitely. The SFPC, how you doing? Fabio Lima, how you doing? Can you share your 2.5 settings on ACC and force feedback and stuff? I'm actually just running everything with just the way that it came out of the box. So it automatically recognized the wheel, recognized the fact that we have the McLaren wheel on because it mapped all the buttons correctly. There's actually a pit lane speed limiter button, and it works straight out of the gate. So it recognized all that. I still have to go through and figure out what each button really does, because every time I hit a button, I see the character hitting a button on the steering wheel. So I'm going to have to go through and actually see what the settings are. But, yeah, force feedback, everything is straight out of the gate with what Assetto Corsa has thrown out there. So we have not changed anything. Big D, hey, how you doing? The sparks and sound when the cars bottom out, yeah. The sparks are awesome. That's why I'm restarting this. I want to race with the AI. The AI is kind of blowing my doors off right now because we're getting back used to racing on a monitor instead of in VR. All right, so let's jump back in. So again, this is going to be, I think it's like making us do like a 20-minute session. That's
Right, mate. Remember that this is a race session. Watch out, and remember that our target is P10. Repeat, position 10.
Let's get the gloves on too because my hands are starting to get a little sweaty. There we go.
Green light, go, go, go.
Really want to see how the AI is doing, so we got a 20-minute session here. The brakes are really... we kind of went off track there. The brakes and the tires, when they're cold, my gosh. Car is really slippery. You can see everyone, their nose is doing this thing. Did you see that where it said under state control of your car, it says aggressive but good as far as how I took that turn? So the game is mapping how I'm driving. Aggressive but good again. Oh, just hit the sparks. Seen them hit the windshield. Lightly hit the bumper of the back of the Audi and I felt it through the whole rig. Ah! Just got hit. Alright, so hopefully we can catch up without losing them too far. It's the whole reason why we restarted. So we could race with the AI. The tires feel really dynamic though, they really do. Force feedback feels very informative. There is a visual lag that I'm experiencing between what I'm doing and what I'm seeing on the screen as far as the character goes. So I'm trying to ignore that. It doesn't really feel like it has to do with the car. It's just the character animation. And that's pretty normal with most racing titles and what I see.
Yellow flag, be careful. Yellow flag ahead, Charlie in front.
Can't really see anything. I think we're also starting to catch up to those other cars too. Oh, that was bad. Starting to sweat. Alright, we're starting to catch up to some of them. Oh, gotta be kidding me. I am messing up like crazy now. Whoa! Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Let's get out of this session here. Well, that settles it. The AI is kicking my butt on every single metric. Fabio Lima, on iRacing, you changed something about force feedback spring? I don't think so. Let's see. Let's try. Let's go in here and let's see if we could turn off. Alright, so motion blur is enabled. Let's disable that. Mirror quality, let's put this on Epic, because it had this weird mosaic pattern. I didn't like that. Okay. So let's apply that. Doesn't really give you any sort of confirmation that you applied it, though. So let's see if that's still disabled. Yes, it is. Okay. And you could actually down the saturation a little bit, but we're going to leave it alone. Single player. Let's do... Let's do rain. We'll do medium rain, and we'll see how that works. I gotta see what button's the actual wiper. That's the only thing. Controls. I don't know. I think we'll just play around with the buttons and see which one ends up turning on the wiper. Let's see. But we should be getting VR next month, and that's greatly going to... Oh, you know what? I think this is just a practice session. There we go. All right, let's give that a try. Some rain racing with the motion rig.
Alright mate, race is about to start. Hold your position until the green flag. Take it easy in turn 1.
All right.
Conditions are wet. We have some slippery curves and also watch out for your braking distance.
So I'm not really sure what button it is. Starts the vehicle.
Alright, here we go. Go, go, go.
Nope. Vehicle is not turning on. So I think we're gonna have to turn that on. Let's see if we can do it from here. Controls, nope. Assist. Engine start, automatic, okay. We'll restart that. That was funny. All right. So now we're on.
Okay, the race is about to start. Hold your position until the green flag. Watch out in the first corner. Alright, we have some wet conditions.
So the up toggle on the right,
Watch your braking distance.
on the right switch here, on the McLaren wheel, is wiper on. You can change the speed of it.
Green light, go, go, go.
Or if you hold it, you can turn it off. Oh, jeez. Oh! Just got spun out. Ah! Oh, that was weird. The whole car and the rig and everything did some weird shakingness. Not exactly sure what that was about. Let's restart that one more time to see if maybe the AI will hit us again. We hit one AI and the rest of the AI decided to hit us, so.
Alright mate, race is about to start. Hold your position until the green flag. Take it easy in turn 1. Alright, we have some wet conditions. Watch out for curbs and exit and remember to brake early. Green light, go, go, go.
This looks so beautiful. Assetto Corsa team did a beautiful job with this title. Oh my gosh! It's like we can't keep the car on the track in the turns. In the straights we're fast, but... it's getting kind of ridiculous, actually. There we go. We made it around a turn. And the tires are warmed up, so it's not that the tires weren't warmed up. I mean, maybe it was the track we were taking as far as the line we were taking, I should say.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
The AI is almost like coming to a complete stop on these turns here.
Yellow flag, be careful. Yellow flag ahead, be careful.
So definitely, you're going to want to turn up the AI strength
Fastest lap of the race, mate. Good job.
if you just set up your own race. I guess in the special events, the AI strength is bumped all the way up. Because this is at 80%, which is the default. I kind of wanted to see what the default was like, and
We are halfway through, not over yet.
they pretty much roll over pretty easily, and they almost break way too much in the turns. Whereas in the special events, I mean, you could see we were getting our tail whooped by the AI. So, very big difference between 80% and possibly like 100%. I don't know if their metric of measurement goes above 100% for AI strength, but
Yellow flag ahead, watch out in front.
I really like how different this car feels in the rain. Feels approachable, but it does slide. And the force feedback does feel different, especially when you're sliding. You do get the sensation that you are sliding, and it's not as violent of the front end. The front end grip is not as violent. You don't feel like the front end is sticking as much at all. But I don't really see any puddling of water in too many areas. I mean, I do see it off track there. But I don't know if it's really changing. I'm not really affected by on track puddling like you would see in Project Cars 2. Haven't really experienced that yet, so got a nice and big force feedback meter on the bottom right there in the gray. Lets you know if you're clipping or not.
Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
I'm also not really noticing a defined track in the rain as far as, you know, from the cars running over a specific spot drying up.
Yellow flag. Be careful.
Not really seeing any of that yet. I don't know if it's because it's so overcast it's kind of hard to see. The track just kind of looks gray. It is immersive. I am immersed right now in this. It is fun. But just some stuff that you would notice from like Project Cars 2 or you know, that has kind of led the graphical fidelity department as far as the effects and the rain effects and whatnot. Not sure if that's going to be in a future update here.
Yellow flag ahead. Be careful. Yellow flag. Yellow flag. Be careful there.
Really starting to pull away from the AI big time, which is surprising. And we pulled away this much. Alright, so let's cut it here. I mean, we're in first place. We're about a half a track ahead, which is a little much. I don't think we need to waste the rest of the time on there. I think we got a good feel for what it felt like in the rain. Kind of wish I set the AI strength a little bit harder. We're going to go back to that special event. We're going to give it another shot. Let's catch up with some of these comments here. Yeah, automatic ignition. So one cannot map the buttons. I think you can. Haven't tried to. I'm trying to learn their default layout because some things make sense. Like you have these toggle switches here on the McLaren GT3 wheel, and pushing up on the right one turns on and off the windshield wipers. All of them seem to be mapped, and I'm sure the ignition was mapped somewhere. I just gotta find out where they mapped it. The slides are crazy head, definitely. Yo, Crash, finally got your NLR V3 and hooked it up. Been a blast with it. Awesome. Good stuff. Kid Italy Nerd Gaming, how you doing? Sam McKenzie tried the Huracan GT3 and ACC and AC back-to-back. You can catch slides and paraslide on AC no problem, whereas ACC is almost impossible. Very weird. Team Eka Abala, sorry if I mispronounce your name. How you doing? Sam McKenzie, I kind of get what you're saying. To be honest with you, in Assetto Corsa, I never really raced the Huracan because the Huracan really just wasn't my choice. I love the Ferrari. the BMW. The Huracan was always tough for me. So to go from AC, which is tough for me, and I've heard many accounts like yours where people say that they were able to catch slides better, to now, you know, racing an ACC with the Huracan, I'm already at a disadvantage. But I think I like the driving dynamics so far. So far, it's feeling really good to me. But like you said, when you start sliding, it's almost impossible to catch it. It feels like. It doesn't tell you what the AI strength is set to either in these special events. Kind of wish it did. Kind of as part of the challenge, you know, I want to know what the AI is doing, and it doesn't tell you here. Because what we just experienced is the AI being at 80%, which was kind of just a default if you made a quick race. And the AI could not, I mean, I was a half a track ahead, and we still had like, we still had quite a few minutes left. So, so we're going to start this again and kind of see how this works out for us. I like how they give you consistency metrics. You can see we can turn our wiper on and off here. Even though we don't need it. I think it's just cool that you can turn it on and off. You have a few different speed settings too, which is nice. It's not just on and off. Definitely, there is a big difference between cold tires and warm brakes in ACC than I experienced in Assetto Corsa. Oh my gosh, I don't know how we made it in between those cars there. But as you can see, like, we didn't have enough brake to really stop us. And I stopped before the 150 marker, actually before the AI, their brake lights came on. I stopped before that. And yet, we just kept barreling along. I was all the way on the brakes, and yet we still couldn't stop. And the curbs are pretty treacherous in ACC that I'm noticing. This one in particular, if you hit that one, your car almost jumps off the track. Just see the AI pass each other up there, so they do fight with each other, which is good to see. I'm still, even though the rear view mirror is set to epic, still getting that mosaic-like pattern on the cars in the rear view mirror.
Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.
Way out wide there. Almost lost it. Trying to push the car a little bit more so that way we could catch up to those guys, but it's actually costing me time. Oh no! Happened again. Now the car's not wanting to turn. Tires are too dirty. Now I can't even turn at all. I guess because the back tires are a little bit cooked. A little bit overheated. Alright, everyone. I think I'm going to cut it here. Overall, I do got to say I do like it. It's a challenge, especially in... I have everything in pro setting. It is rough. It is a challenge. And the slides are very, very hard to catch. Like, once you lose control of the car, it's almost that's it. And if you overdrive the car, which we are guilty of, I do got to say we are guilty of doing that. But if you do overdrive the car, you do have to pay for it. And Assetto Corsa Competizione is not fearful at all to make you pay for overdriving the vehicle. So I know we are guilty of overdriving the vehicle, and I know that's probably why we drove a little bit better in the rain, because it forced us to slow down quite a bit more. It takes practice. You have to get used to a whole new platform all over again. The force feedback, I do got to say, although we are racing, and this is, I think, the 0.1.1 version, the force feedback felt good. It didn't feel bad to me. I felt like I could feel everything I needed to feel. The curbs were very sharp, but I do got to say the curbs and some of the road texture is conveyed a little bit more in normal Assetto Corsa. As far as their sharpness, you could feel a lot more of the fine detail, but I don't know how realistic that is, especially when you have, a steering rack, you have tires, you have everything else in the way. So this may be more realistic. I'm not sure. I haven't sat in a GT3 car lately at all. So, hey, Stubby, all right. Thank you so much. Yasin, thank you so much. Take care, Crash, who crashed a lot. Yep, exactly. But overall, I do gotta say, I really do like it. The motion patch that we're using definitely showed off a lot of the telemetry data that is coming from Assetto Corsa Competizione. And there is a lot of it that is coming through from the title to the rig. And it comes through actually really nicely. Very happy about that. Doesn't feel like there's any sort of delay. There's not a lot of settings I had to mess with. It just worked. So, yeah, overall, I'm actually very happy with this. I do kind of not like the oversaturation of colors, but you could just go to options right over here, and you could go to video, and you could adjust that right at the bottom there. The saturation will, if you adjust that down, will take some of that saturation out. So they do give you the control to adjust a lot of that, and I really appreciate. So, all right, everyone. As usual, I'm Crash with RTA Motorsports. Consider subscribing. Don't judge me too far as the racing abilities that I conveyed here. We normally race in VR. Racing on a screen again was a little odd, but I think with a little practice we could definitely get to it. Although next month we should get VR support, which I am really excited for. I also want to try a few other tricks as far as trying to get this to work in a VR headset. As of now, we might be able to get something together. It's better than nothing until native VR support. So anyway, everyone, thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you all next time.